And having 9 kids, that'll do that to you. But our next presenter is responsible for probably more of those hairs than any of us.
I know. They talked to me a little bit about hosting tonight, and I decided that probably more than 3 to 5 minutes with me with a microphone in a church house would end badly. And so, set it up there. Being down there tonight and looking up here at my dad reminded me of all the sacrament meetings when I was a kid, because most of the time we were down low and Terry was up on the stand with the bishopric. But the difference between tonight and those nights is that you're awake. Because I don't know if I can remember one sacrament meeting that you stayed awake through. And his claim was always, I was just resting my eyes. I was just resting my eyes. And I always thought, are you resting your jawbone too? Because he's just totally kicking back. Everyone, the people from the Manaway board here, they've all seen this countless times. But my dad can fall asleep anywhere. Anywhere. Watching a movie, falls asleep. Everyone does that. But eating dinner, you look over, hey, can you pass the butter? Terry's just passed out. I swear on my life, one time ice skating, Terry glided past me, passed asleep. He's got so many kids, he's got so many things going on that he can just pass out in a heartbeat. You're just right in the middle of a conversation, you look over, Terry's gone. That was one of the first things Abby noticed about my family. She's like, your dad's asleep a lot. But the best part about when he sleeps is the waking up. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced a true wake up. In Sacrament, he contains himself a little more, but he'll pass out at home, a little lazy boy, and when he pops up like he just remembered there was a man-eating tiger on the list. You know what I mean? He just... And then he's off, like a gold, just bullet out the gun, he's just gone, he's running out of the room, and you're like, what is he doing? You hear the lawnmower running? It's just power napping. He's just getting ready for the next project. He doesn't say one word, he pops up, looks around, like he's wanted by the law, and then he leaves and works on a project. So the rest of us, we weren't quite as good at getting up. And Terry can attest to that, because I don't think I once woke up to an alarm clock till after I moved out of the house. This wasn't Terry's plan, because every Christmas we all got alarm clocks. But with 45 alarm clocks in the house, every morning we were woke up by Terry going, John, Jason, Adam, Matthew, Chris. The only time he called him Chris and not Buzz. Emily! Which we all responded to with, what? I don't know what you want, what is it? I'm just laying here, what's going on? Then after the 10-minute snooze, which is Terry's shower, Terry would come back, and this time, instead of yelling all of our names, he would just yell in front of the stairs, the bus pulls out in 45 minutes. You're not in the car, you're getting left. So we all would scurry down the stairs and try to get out of the car in time, and then 9 of us piled up like sardines in that little convertible would scurry down the highway, because we didn't believe in seatbelts back then. It was quite a time. Even worse than those mornings were the mornings that we tried to cope when we were all getting up early in the morning to read scriptures before we went to school. Like we were great at getting up anyways. This was the perfect time for all of us to get up and spend time together reading scriptures, everyone trying to read a verse while they can't see out of their eyes. It was a good plan, and it always started with Terry going, from now on, we're going to be getting up every morning, 5 a.m., we'll be reading scriptures for 1 hour before we get ready for school. Everyone will be there. And we did this for about 2 years. You might see some of my family looking confused, because it wasn't actually 2 years in a row. It was 2 years and 2-week increments. Because that's about as long as it lasted before it was, everybody get out of bed, you've got 40 minutes to be in the car. The bus pulls out. outside in our house, but Terry had a lot of hobbies over the years, and Jason mentioned hunting, obviously something that he really enjoys, and one day he decided that he was going to start hunting pheasants. Well, the problem is the farm doesn't have any pheasants, and so Terry went out and he bought chicks and he raised them under a light, and he fed them every day, and he took care of them, and he built this humongous pen with an indoor-outdoor area to run about, and raised all of these pheasants, and then he would go into the pheasant pen and he would run around until he could catch one of these birds with his bare hands, and he'd put it in a crate and he'd haul it all the way up to the farm where he had his trained dog, which is another story altogether on how he got to that point. Then he would let the bird out in the woods, and he would have the dog scare the bird out, and he'd shoot the bird. This is the same man that 2 weeks ago looked at me with an honest face and said, "I'm excited to retire so I have more free time." I don't know if he's making the best use of his time. In all honesty, I love you. I'm sorry about all your gray hairs. I'm sorry for wrecking every vehicle you've ever owned. But I love you. And just like Rita, I have a present for you. I've already given it to you. It's that list of things to do around my house now that you're retired. And I expect you to be starting on that Monday. The bus pulls out at 7 a.m. Thank you.
So I was at my parents' house a couple months ago, and I was at my dad's dresser looking for change, as I often found myself over the years. And I came across a list that said big plans. There was only one thing written on it. It says part hair on the right side. Triple question marks. So, we get exciting around here. Alright, our next presenter, pretty much if the TV dinner hadn't already existed, you can bet this guy would have gotten around to it eventually. He loves his TV. He was originally nicknamed for his haircut. Now it seems more fitting because he's kind of got this stoned way about him. Buzz?
Alright, this is going to be good.
I like your notepad there. That's quite the...
I got a sticky note.
He's got to have a sticky note.
She's folded in that. That's about all I have to say about that. Alright, well, like they've said before, many of our fun adventures with the Nelson family revolve around work. And that was no different than when we played football in the front yard. This was always Dad's excuse to get us out of the house. Hey, let's go play football. And we do really good. He'd throw, it's kind of like a 500 game. He'd throw the ball and run it back for a touchdown. And this was an opportunity for him to beat us up. And he'd throw us around when he'd get around to it, and then throw us on the ground. And then these two would always fight. And always end up fighting. Adam and Jason would always fight. I guess that's where Michael and Terry used to fight, right? I guess that's where it came from. But the way the football game always ended was Matt would throw the ball over Dad's head.
Whoa, whoa! No, I couldn't throw that ball. Somehow the ball would end up in the garden.
It's because I hadn't touched it.
Oh, yeah. And then, when Terry went in to get the ball, he noticed there was a couple weeds in the garden. And we knew the game was over. He'd come out and he'd go, well, 2 more throws, and I think we should all take 3 rows in the garden. And then we'd all beat up on whoever threw the ball over his head. So that would always end bad. We all know that